And I think we should do our best Jennifer Coolidge impersonation because she says, I'm taking it. She says, I'm taking a dog, dumbass.
Hello and welcome to the Art of Costume Blogcast. I'm Elizabeth Joy-Glass.
And I'm Spencer Williams. Hey, Elizabeth.
Hey, it's been forever.
I know, I missed you. I was telling someone the other day, whenever we're not recording a podcast now, I have, separation anxiety.
I know, I don't know what to do with myself. So I went to the wilds of Idaho.
Oh, I'm so glad you made it back.
I was in the wilderness at one point and, really did not have cell reception, so... Glad I didn't get attacked by some creature.
Did you bring me back any native Idaho potatoes like I asked? I
didn't even see a potato farm.
What?
Yes. My friend told me that, there are more potato farms in Washington or something than in Idaho, and, she doesn't know where any potato farms are, which I found highly unacceptable. I
thought the whole draw of Idaho was the potato farms, but I guess someone lied to me.
Apparently it's their outdoor activities, which I have to say are fantastic.
Speaking of, I was in Seattle. And lucky me, I kind of hate the sun. I think it's way too hot.
You do.
I went to Seattle, and it was the 5th, 6th, and 7th hottest days in recorded Seattle history, so...
Oh my gosh, that's because that whole region is having a heat wave. It was, in the hundreds every single day I was there.
Yeah, lucky me. It was so fun. I was just burning in hell for a whole
week.
I don't even know how long I was there. It just was long, hot blur.
Long, hot blur. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I know this is totally off topic, but my sister texted me after she listened to the Cruella episode, and I talked about the dog that gave me the trauma.
Oh no, not again.
She was a few critical facts, dear sister, after listening to your amazing pod. 1, that horrible dog's name was Samantha. 2, she assaulted you mercilessly, which I assume you flocked out due to trauma. Number 3, are you ready for this, Spencer?
I don't know. I don't think I'm ready.
She was part Dalmatian.
What? That's crazy.
Apparently.
That is insane. I'm so sorry. This whole podcast must have been a crazy experience for you.
Hey, I didn't even know. She hadn't informed me.
I've been having so much fun doing a podcast, though, and I love everyone's comments we've been getting and messages. People are loving it. A couple requests for us to do horror movies, which is definitely in our future.
Yes, just wait for October.
Yeah, we're going to go hard on horror movies.
We're going to have spooky season.
We're, very into horror movies, so we're really, resisting right now. But we'll get there. We can't just go all spooky all the time.
Yes. End of November and October, though, it's on.
So, Elizabeth, what are we watching today?
Oh, my goodness. So, today, for the 20th anniversary, we watched the classic Legally Blonde.
Wow, 20th anniversary. Wow.
Yeah, it came out in 2001.
That's a long time.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny. So I told my sister we were watching it, and she's like, oh, the movie that inspired me to become a lawyer. I was like,
is that how it works? I'm not gonna lie, I've always wanted to, every once in a while I get this idea where I'm like, maybe I should have went to law school. And then I watched Legally Blonde, and I was like, no, maybe I definitely should have went to law school, and I have to bring myself back to earth every time.
But yeah, so this is apparently the movie that inspired my sister to become the kick-ass lawyer that she is.
Oh, hell yeah. I love lawyers. And your sister's a kick-ass lawyer, too. So shout out to Elizabeth's sister, everyone. All right, so I guess I'll start us off with a summary, and then Elizabeth will bring me to our favorite part of the podcast.
Yes, please.
So this summary is brought to you by IMDb because I was too lazy to come up with a summary this time. So Elizabeth is going to yell at me after this recording.
Just a little bit. Didn't do your homework.
I'm sorry. I did lots of research, but I just could not bring myself to come up with a summary. Okay, so for our summary this week. Legally Blonde. Elle Woods, a fashionable sorority queen, is dumped by her boyfriend. Her lousy, no-good boyfriend. I'll add that to the summary. She decides to follow him to law school. While she's there, she figures out that there is more to her than just looks. And that is the summary. Short and sweet.
So true. So true. She has such a transformation in this film.
She does.
And part of that transformation, well, no, not really part of the transformation, but the kick-ass wardrobe that she does have. Spencer, are you ready to go behind the wardrobe?
I can hardly wait. This is my favorite part, actually.
All right. So let's go behind the wardrobe. Legally Blonde is directed by Robert Lutek, and the costume design is by Sophie De Rakoff. You might know some of her work from either Sweet Home Alabama, Legally Blonde 2, This Means War, or most recently, The Morning Show. She's actually worked with Reese Witherspoon for quite some time. They do a lot of films together. But Legally Blonde was one of her first movies as costume designer. So she had a unique experience for being so early on in her career. She said the studio was kind of hands-off. There wasn't a lot of interference, so she was really able to be like natural and spontaneous with the wardrobe. She didn't have a ton of restrictions on her. You know, it's such a fun wardrobe. The pieces are unique. It's very of the early 2000s,
oh, yeah.
But it still ages well, which I really liked. I expected to watch this and be like, oh gosh, it's dated. It's not. It's not dated at all. And especially with the main character, Elle, played by Reese Witherspoon, it's so unique and different. And they said they just basically had a catchphrase, which was, what would Elle do? And from that, they just, you know, it's like one thing she points out in an interview is they were like, okay, she has to wear a bikini in the video essay. They're like, well, all right, it's pink sequins. That's what Elle would do.
It's true.
So they just had a very organic process to it that, you know, you wouldn't usually have. Also, you think a film like this would be mostly shopping, just finding funky pieces.
Yeah. They
had quite a few pieces made for this film. So I'll point those out as we're going through, but I did not expect that.
I think this movie is so cool. I think Sophie De Rakoff is such an incredible costume designer. I love that she's been working with Reese Witherspoon ever since. Mm-hmm. It really shows. I love when costume designers develop that kind of personal relationship with an actor or actress. I agree too. It feels very modern. It doesn't feel dated to me. It just feels like it, you know, it's campy. It's a campy take on the 2000s, but it's still,
yeah.
You know, I feel like, especially now in 2021, I feel like especially Gen Z is kind of going back to this sort of bright, bold fashion of 2001. I feel like this was a trendsetter, just like Clueless, just like any of the Mona May films.
Yeah, that's very true. And I don't know, what I like most about this film, and it's like very shown through the costume, like it's kind of a romantic comedy, but it's a romantic comedy with like Elle herself.
Yeah, exactly.
Finding out just exactly what she is capable of doing.
Remember how we said in, I think it was the trailer, how I said I don't really get into rom-coms as much, and you said, well, you're going to watch them anyways.
Yeah.
This isn't one that I actually like, so I did enjoy this one.
Good.
Well, I'm so excited to talk about this movie, so I think we should take a short break and just get right into it.
I think we should too, because I'm ready to talk about it.
All right, let's do it. All right, Elizabeth, are you ready to watch Legally Blonde?
I am so ready.
Let's do it. So the scene opens on a very fun-looking sorority row.
Yes.
you and I did not go to a school like this.
No.
So this feels like a fairy tale to me. I don't know what this is like.
I know. My one like sorority row experience at another college was like not this great.
You went and partied at other sororities?
We tried to party at a frat. Did not go well.
Oh no. Yeah, never been to a fraternity or sorority party, but I imagine they're fun. But so we're just going on a can't relate basis for this podcast, but
yeah,
we'll try.
But it's nice. They're like all having a good time. They're signing a card for Elle.
Oh, it looks so fun. Everyone's wearing like super bright, colorful colors. I believe this school is somewhere in Los Angeles.
Yeah, it's CU LA, and I'm like, did UCLA drop out at the last minute?
Oh, I see. It's supposed to be a play on UCLA. Yeah. Now I got it. Okay, so yeah, it's supposed to be, I guess we'll say it's maybe UCLA.
Yeah.
Everyone's in bright colors. And finally it comes to us that Elle is supposedly getting proposed to today at dinner.
Yeah, she's so ready. But like, I don't know. That is until he tells her it's at some fancy restaurant.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, and she's so excited. Her friends are excited. And the first piece we see her in is, they called it the cloud dress, and it was actually one of the pieces they made for the film.
Oh, it's so cute. It does look like clouds now that I'm looking at it.
Yeah, it's this pink cloud print. I love it.
It's so cute on her. It feels very tropical, like she's going to Hawaii with the yellow flower in her hair.
So she's like, okay, he's going to propose. It's this big fancy restaurant. I got to go find something new to wear.
And I love her two friends in their costumes, Margot and Serena. I love the cute little...
I love the little cheerleader outfit.
Yeah, this like teal and orange cheerleader uniform. I don't know if that works as a cheerleader uniform, but it's cute.
Yeah, exactly.
Those aren't the colors I would pick, but they're cute.
Yes, it is a fictional college, so...
Yeah, I'm obsessed with all the hairstyles, though, in this movie.
I know.
The hair is just beyond.
I have to say, her friend, Serena, the one in the cheerleading costume, she has the best hairstyles.
She does. It's really on point all the time.
And she has the best facial expressions of this entire film.
Yes. And they tell Elle, like, they need to go shopping for tonight.
They gotta go.
They go, and Elle is trying on this blue, sparkly, sleeveless dress.
Yes.
They try to sell this dress to Elle.
From last season at full price, and Elle knows her stuff. This is your first clue that she's actually very smart, is that she doesn't take the bait.
So me, this whole time, I haven't seen this movie in a long time. I'm just gonna admit. And I know some people love this movie, and I do love it, but I've not seen it in forever. I'm like, oh, is she supposed to be a dumb character the entire time? No, she's like, that dress is low viscosity rayon. And in my head, I was like, oh, okay, well, she actually knows what she's talking about.
Yeah, she really does.
She says red is the color of confidence. Do you agree? Actually, I'm going to say yes, because we just watched Captain America, and we just had this conversation.
Okay, maybe. I don't know. She has a lot of confidence in that pink, though.
That's true.
That is her color of confidence, is the pink. Oh my gosh, and pink was almost not the signature color.
Oh, really?
They thought it was too on the nose, but then they actually visited sororities, and they were like, oh no, this is correct.
Yeah, it just has to be it. I think pink is fine for this.
Yeah.
Actually, I can't imagine it not being in pink, honestly.
Honestly, I don't think the movie would have worked as well if pink was not her signature color.
No. So I feel like you can make a color your confidence color no matter what color it is, as long as you feel confident in it. So if you feel good in pink, you wear fucking pink.
Yeah. If you feel good in orange, wear orange.
Yeah.
It's not the new pink, but it is if you feel confident in it.
that was a good one, Elizabeth. I feel confident in black, so I wear black every day of my life.
As you should.
Even to bed, I wear black.
You really do just live in black.
Oh my gosh. So anyways, the boyfriend finally comes over. Warner is played by Matthew Davis.
Yes.
He's kind of hunky. I get it.
He's kind of hunky. He's hunky in that very, like, East Coast frat boy way.
Oh, yes, which is mentioned later on. He is very East Coast. East Coast people have a feel about them, I will say.
He's very frat boy, but he has that East Coast reserve.
Yeah, very, very that. And Elle is wearing a different kind of pink halter dress to dinner. Halter dresses in pink are apparently just her power outfit.
So the proposal dress, was actually made by Molly Stern, who is a very famous celebrity makeup artist and good friends with Reese Witherspoon. They knew they needed something like really special. Molly Stern apparently also makes clothes. I tried to do a little research, but really couldn't find anything besides her makeup work. Mm-hmm. And they went to her for this piece, and I'm like, it works. It really works.
It makes so much sense for Elle's character to be wearing this kind of pink and black dress. It feels almost kind of like Flintstones-ish to me.
Yes.
But she's like, I look good, so why does it matter?
Yeah, in an interview with Entertainment Weekly, she calls it like a wiggle dress, like Marilyn Monroe. And it's like, ooh, that is right on the nose.
I love that. That makes complete sense.
Yes. And it just really is like the perfect dress for this scene, because she's just all excited. It does look kind of bridal, which is what she said she wanted in the store.
Oh, it is bridal.
Yeah.
It has like a bridal silhouette.
You put that in white and it's like, it's a bridal gown.
Exactly. That's so right. But back to the story. Warner is, he's a piece of shit.
He is. I love how every person in the restaurant knows that too.
Yeah, this guy's terrible. And I just can't even, I was so cringing the entire time watching the scene. He's just terrible.
He's awful. She's so excited.
He calls her Pooh Bear.
Which is gross.
Ugh.
If anybody starts calling me that and I'm okay with it, you need to, take me aside and be like, Elizabeth, I don't think this is the right relationship for you.
No, I will be sure to do that. Elizabeth, bring yourself back to Earth. That's not going to work. He breaks up with Elle because she's just not going to cut it, I guess, for him being a senator at 30.
No, he needs a Jackie, not a Marilyn.
Ugh, gross.
So gross.
I did look it up. To be a U.S. senator, you have to actually be at least 30 years of age. The current youngest senator is John Ossoff of Georgia, and he is 34.
How old do you need to be a representative?
I'm not positive. We could look that up real quick.
Because I feel like there are representatives younger than...
Oh, you have to be 25. To be a U.S. House of Representative member, you have to be 24. Wait, what did I just say? I have 25. How did I forget it that fast?
Dang, you forgot that in 2 seconds.
Oh my god. To be a U.S. House of Representative member, you have to be at least 25 years old. So a little bit younger than a senator. Now that I got that out of the way, no one's going to care, but I just had to drop some political nerd knowledge on all of you. Like I said, I sometimes wish I went to law school, so...
There's still time, Spencer.
There is. I'm not even 30 yet, so technically my senator days are maybe ahead of me.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have to go to law school to be a senator.
That's true. You don't have to go to law school to be a president.
That's true as well. You need no knowledge of the Constitution to enter our political system.
No, not at all. We won't get into it, but...
Yeah.
So Elle has been broken up with. She's doing her walk of shame back to her house. Her shitty ex-boyfriend says, you should get in my car because you don't want to get your shoes ruined. I don't like this scene, honestly.
I don't like this either. This is literally the only nice thing he does for her, because that is kind of that she has to walk home in heels like that. I've done that. Your feet don't thank you the next day. It's bad for a couple of days. So it is that's the only nice thing he does. But then it looks like they just drive home in silence. Yeah, and then the worst part is when she's getting out of the car, he's literally checking his hair in the rearview mirror. And I was like...
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like I could have gone without seeing this scene. It's just so terrible.
She's so sad. It's tears, her makeup's ruined. She's crushed.
I get so mad at shitty boyfriends and girlfriends who are doing obviously shitty stuff like this. I don't know why. I'm just so passionate. Why are you such a jerk? I just don't get it.
It doesn't make any sense.
Anyways, now that he's gone out of our life for a temporary amount of time,
Elle is crushed.
She's crushed. She's just in her room eating chocolate. in her cute room, I will say. I love her bedroom.
With Bruiser, her little Chihuahua. This is the only time I've actually liked a Chihuahua in a film.
Uh-oh, not the dog trauma again. I think Bruiser is such a cute character. I'm obsessed with Bruiser.
He's adorable.
All of Bruiser's little outfits, they make me really happy.
Yes, he's adorable, but she is just like, she's so sad. And her friends are like, we gotta get you out of here. So they're like, okay, let's go get her thing that makes her feel better is going to get her nails done.
They do.
So they go to the salon, and her friend Serena, I think it's the funniest thing when she's talking to, like, her manicurist, and then, like, she just breaks into, like, Mandarin, I think.
Yeah.
And I was like, all these girls are really smart. They're just priorities are not on, like, what a normal smart person's priorities would be on.
Totally, and I think that's the idea behind it. It's like these sorority people, I mean, just students in general from this area of California, everyone's just assuming that they're all just dumb, they're just there to party. But at the same time, like, the school they're going to is still a prestigious school, so they're all experts at their studies. So maybe she was studying language.
Yeah, they just assume, like, oh, daddy paid for this, you're going to become a trophy wife. They just want a, like, more simple life.
To all of my fraternity and sorority brothers and sisters, you are very seen at this moment. You are smart. You are talented. Even if this movie is to make you look dumb, I know you're all still talented.
Yes. You can do great things with your lives.
Yeah. Speaking of doing great things with their lives, Elle comes up with this idea after seeing Warren's brother in a newspaper.
Yeah. His brother just got engaged to a first-year law student, and she's like, oh, I can be that.
Yeah, so Elle's like, I'm going to go to law school. And just like that, she just begins her adventure to becoming a law student.
Yeah, there's this great montage of all her sorority sisters are behind her. They're like, we don't get this, but it's important to you. So we're here for you. So she's studying for the LSATs. She's filming a video essay instead of writing one down. She's filming the video essay. It's so great. The fact she's like, I got a Coppola to direct it. And I'm like, why?
Yeah. She's doing the essay in a hot tub in a pink sequin bathing suit.
Yes. This is the outfit I was talking about where they were just like, well, what would Elle do? And it's like, oh, she has a blue sequined bikini top too when she's talking to her parents. Oh my gosh. When she's talking to her parents about going to law school and her dad's like, law school is for ugly, boring, serious people. You're none of those things. I wish her parents had been in this more because they were hilarious.
Right. I love them. And I'm just obsessed with these looks. I'm like, oh, she looks so good in this pink bathing suit.
She does. She pulls everything off. And one thing I like about this is Sophie, she said that, you know, everything she wears could be considered very sexy. But the way Reese Witherspoon plays Elle Woods, it's just all very cute.
Yeah, it feels very cute. Do you feel like she's wearing the pink bathing suit because she knows her audience and maybe this might help her going into her interviews? Or do you literally think that she thought, wow, this is a great idea for a video. I think I'm going to look cute and it's going to be awesome.
Number two, she just thought it was going to be cute and awesome. Because like I said, when she's talking to her parents, she's wearing a blue version of that top.
That's true.
So clearly this is just what she swims in.
Yeah, I love this scene. It's so fun. And it cuts to all these professors sitting around a table.
Mouths open.
Mouths open. They're so confused. And the part that gets me every time, Elizabeth, is they're so focused on Elle being a fashion major.
Yes.
And what are you and I, Elizabeth?
We are fashion majors.
It feels like such a read.
Yeah.
Just because Elizabeth and I are fashion majors does not mean we cannot do whatever we want in this world.
Yeah, we're smart people. We can do whatever. I want to see whoever thinks that like, fashion majors are dumb, I want to see you flat pattern something or grade a pattern piece. I want to see you do that. Or even explain to me what that is.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know what it's like to sew till 7 in the morning and then be at class at 8 And then the stamina you have to stay awake in your, like, bar seat so you don't fall out at the drafting table.
Yeah. Do you know what it's like to stay up 2 nights in a row to get your finals done, which is like sewing 3 whole dresses? Do you?
Yeah. Do you know what it's like to watch all 3 Lord of the Rings movies in one night while trying to learn how to sew a corset? Do you know?
Yeah, engineering students. Yeah, law students. Do you know? Don't disrespect us.
Wait, what movie are we watching? I forgot.
We're watching Legally Blonde.
Oh, yeah. So take that, law professors.
Yeah. So they're there, mouths open. Clearly, the guy who's the head of the admissions committee, he's just like, he's kind of has that, like, we can't let this person in. But every other professor's like, well, she has great extracurriculars. She's in a Ricky Martin video. Oh, she's a fan of music.
They're all gross.
They're all gross.
The antagonist of this movie is just men in general. But also her test scores are, like, pretty amazing.
Yeah.
She ends up making it in, and all of her friends run to tell her, and they're all super excited, and I'm just so happy for her at this moment. I was rooting for you, and you did that.
She did. She got in. And then, like, she's so excited. She's like, I'm going to Harvard. I'm going to win back Warner. We're going to do this. So she drives to Harvard.
And her driving outfit is something else.
Her driving outfit is one of the custom builds for this.
It has to be.
It had to be. It's just like the pink leather, the matching tinted pink sunglasses, Bruiser in his little Harvard, like, sweater. Oh, so adorable.
It's so good. With also on her collar, it has, like, a darker shade of pink. It just looks...
Yes.
Just this entire driving outfit. I think this is probably my favorite costume of the film. It has to be everyone's. It's just so good.
I think so, too. Like, it's so adorable. It's the perfect thing for her to drive up in. Because she's also like, oh, I'm going to law school. So that's probably why she has, like, the little bit of, like, the longer skirt. And, like, she's like, oh, East Coast is chilly. Gotta wear, like, leather jacket. Keep warm.
Yeah, exactly. And I love the way that it contrasts against all of the students at Harvard. Because they're all
wearing outfits.
They're boring, preppy, but, like, also really earthy tones.
Yes.
And the way Elle Woods just contrasts against all those earthy tones is just brilliant.
It's so good. And I love her because she just ignores all the hate that she gets right off the bat because people are like, oh, hey, Malibu Barbie, as she's, like, moving in. And she's just like, okay, never mind. Just go about our day.
Such a gross insult, too. Malibu Barbie. Since when was Malibu Barbie an insult?
I don't know. And I'm like, what's wrong with being Barbie? Barbie can do anything. Barbie was a pilot. She was a doctor. Barbie taught me I could do anything.
Yeah, Barbie's a freaking badass. And I love Malibu. Malibu's freaking cool.
Yeah, Malibu's gorgeous.
Freaking East Coasters. Oh my gosh, I'm about to fight.
Hey.
Elizabeth, you're from the East Coast. Let's
I'm from
fight.
the East Coast. Don't fight me. I'm agreeing with you.
Oh gosh.
We're just a harder type of person.
I just want to mention how cute Bruiser looks in his little outfit, too.
His little Harvard sweater.
Pink sweater with a little purple collar on it. I mean, the costume designer had to come up with all these little costumes for the dog, too.
Yeah, it was so cute. And I was confused at first. I was like, why is there an H on top? And then I was like, oh, yeah, it's for Harvard, because Bruiser's going to Harvard, too. He's a Harvard dog now.
And it's like, you know, we just did our Cruella episode. This is a real dog. He's not like a little fake dog with an eye patch.
No.
Elizabeth, I just wanted to take us on a little deep dive of the dog that played Bruiser. Because I am a Bruiser super fan. Bruiser was played by a Chihuahua named Mooney, who was born in 1998. He was taken in as a puppy by Studio Animal Services trainer Sue Chipperton. Aww. Sue had also helped train the Chihuahua Gidget, who has already made a name for herself as a mascot for the Taco Bell restaurant chain.
Oh my gosh, isn't there a Taco Bell commercial in this?
I don't remember.
I think one of the days she's studying and Bruiser is watching the TV, I think I hear them say Taco Bell, and there's another like Chihuahua dog.
Oh my god, I totally missed that. Mooney's breakout role was in Legally Blonde. And he also, at the age of 5, was in the sequel, Legally Blonde 2, Red, White, and Blonde. Following the Legally Blonde movies, Mooney continued to book acting jobs. He appeared in a music video alongside the singer and actress Cher.
What?
Starred in several commercials and had guest roles in episodes of the television series Three Sisters and Providence. He was present with Reese Witherspoon as she received her star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in 2010. Aww. Mooney retired from acting in 2014 at the age of 15. And Mooney did pass away in March of 2016. Aww. But I just had to read all of this Mooney, the Chihuahua history because I'm obsessed with it.
He's so an adorable dog.
Oh, rest in peace, Mooney. You were a real one. I love him. He's a superstar. And I'm just so glad we got to do that deep dive.
As am I. But she's taken him to, orientation. And she matches him in this scene.
She does. He looks so cute. She comes in a cute little crop top, very colorful, and she's also wearing a pink beret or news cap. Can't really tell from this angle, but she's standing out in this crowd of, once again, lots of earth tones. I see lots of greens and plaids and blues. She stands out, and it's just...
She stands out a lot.
It's really good for the camera right now. You just really focus on her outfit. The cute little sparkly belt that's hanging from her pants is so cute, too.
I know. It's like she's got the pink pants with the purple pink and, like metallic silver top. It's so adorable.
And she's asking for her social calendar, and it's missing. This is Harvard. We don't do lots of crazy
social
parties like you're used to in Los Angeles.
Especially, the law school part of it. It's like most people already got their party days out.
Yeah, totally. And Elle gets to meet her, I thought was going to be friends, but I realized this isn't Mean Girls. This is Legally Blonde.
I thought they were going to be, her enemies at first, but become her besties.
Yeah.
Which I feel like they kind of do, but I'm like, there must have been a lot that was cut out of this.
I thought they were going to be friends, too. And then I realized we're thinking of Mean Girls, with her two friends that are kind of outcast. And they become, Lindsay Lohan's friends. This is not Mean Girls. This is Legally Blonde. David, whose name in the film is actually Dorky David, he has a master's in Russian literature, a PhD in biochemistry, and for the last 18 months, he's been deworming orphans in Somalia.
I love David. He just looks freaked out and ready to run every single moment of this film.
Enid Wexler has a PhD from Berkeley Women's Studies with an emphasis in the history of combat. It's emphasis on combat.
Women in combat.
Okay. I love it. She single-handedly organized a march for lesbians against drunk driving. Which is crazy.
And she's like, good times, good times.
Finally, Aaron Mitchell graduated first in his class from Princeton. He has an IQ of 187, and it's been...
So he says. Suggested that Stephen Hawking stole his brief history of time from Aaron's 4th grade paper. I looked up IQ scores, and 187 is, I believe, even better than Albert Einstein's. Yeah.
I'm starting to think he's a liar.
Yeah. Yeah.
I actually don't know what my IQ score is, so it must not be very good.
I mean, they did mine, when I was in elementary school.
We should do it again and tell our audience. Apparently average is 85 to 115.
Oh. I think I got 30-something.
Got 30?
I got a 30-something, yeah.
We should double check that, because that's at the bottom of the scale.
No, 130, I'm sorry.
Oh, 130.
130, I got 130-something.
Okay, then you're above average.
Yeah.
According to this chart I pulled off the internet before.
I don't know. I feel like maybe as a child I was smart. I don't know if I've kept that intelligence.
All right, Elizabeth. Well, before Elle starts her classes, I think that we should take a quick break and go get all of our notepads and pencils before our first day of law school.
Notepads, pencils, a little snack.
Your little snack. Your little heart-shaped notepad. All right. See you after the break.
All right. for the first day of school. She's got what she believes is the outfit of a lawyer. A metallic peacock green cardigan, a blue metallic knee-length pencil skirt, a pink top with a tie, and some knee-high brown leather boots.
This outfit's all over the place, but it's actually one of my favorites. I think this cardigan is actually really nice.
I love that cardigan, and I love that, like, what really is, she's like, yeah, I'm the lawyer, is when she puts those fake glasses on.
Oh, yeah, she's feeling the fantasy right now.
She is.
I swear, she's like, this is what a senator or a representative of Congress would wear. She's
like, this is what he wants in a wife.
Yeah. Just that peacock color on a cardigan. I just can't stop looking at it. It's just so attractive.
I know. It's like, it's bold, it's in your face, and she just thinks she looks so good. But she is not ready for her first class.
No.
In the slightest.
I mean, she forgot to do her first assignment already. How does that happen?
I don't know. She didn't even realize. Law school is probably one of the few where it's like, oh, even before the first day of school, got to be doing your reading.
Yeah. I mean, that's so true.
This is one thing that confuses me. I'm like, did you not read the book list? Like, why do you, like, at least not have the book with you?
Right.
Even if you didn't read it.
But I'm so happy to finally introduce two characters that I love. Professor Stromwell, who's played by the brilliant Holland Taylor, who I love so much. Ugh.
Yes.
And then, of course, we bring in Elizabeth, one of my favorite people of all time.
Yes. She's one of my favorite superheroes of all time.
Yeah, I bet. Vivian, played by the wonderful Selma Blair. Ugh.
Yes. Noble work. Hellboy 2, The Golden Army.
She was also in Cruel Intentions, another great movie. But she's just an all-around amazing person, Selma Blair. She's not necessarily my favorite actress, just like people always say there's no such thing as perfect, but I actually believe that Selma Blair defies that.
She might be perfect.
Selma Blair is perfect.
Yes. Sorry, I was obsessed with Hellboy as a kid.
Oh my gosh. I love Hellboy too. That's I'm not gonna say it was one of my favorite movies when I was in growing up.
Yeah, that was a good one. But yeah, so we have Liz, or as she's known in this film, Vivian.
Vivian's outfits, I think, are just as great as Elle Wood's. They're a different color palette, but they're still pretty amazing. She's wearing a very sophisticated blue top with always like a little pearl necklace above it. She's wearing her cute little headbands.
The headband, that was so of the 2000s. I owned so many headbands.
Very that. It looks really good on her. I feel like all of her outfits are really good. Yeah. So I'm going to definitely call those out as we keep moving along.
It's funny. That's kind of what my sister looked like when she was in law school. If you want a reference.
We should have just invited your sister to be a part of this podcast. We should have.
She would have been thrilled.
One thing I have to bring up about this scene, it still gives me the heebie-jeebies, which they call the Socratic Method.
Why does that give you the heebie-jeebies?
The method of inquiry and instruction employed by Socrates, especially as represented in the dialogues of Plato, and consisting of series of questionings, the object of which is to elicit a clear and consistent expression of something supposed to be implicitly known by all rational beings. Wow, that was a long explanation. Basically, It's... You're like, don't do that again. Basically, it's when a teacher just calls on anyone in a class at random, talking about my anxiety of, like, being in high school when, the teacher's looking for someone to call on, and you're afraid she's going to call on you, and you just kind of lower down in your chair, and you get slowly away from the mic.
I gotta say, if you have social anxiety, cyber school's the way to go. Did not have to deal with that. Oh,
I'm so jealous. I hate it. You just see the teacher's eyes wandering around the classroom, and you're like, please don't pick me.
And they
please
land
don't
on
pick
you.
me. They land on you, and they're like, oh, Spencer, so what did you think about, whatever? And I'd be like, even if I know the answer, it's just sudden frozen.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Elle Woods falls prey to this because she didn't understand there was reading before the class.
Yeah, I mean, she's the first victim, and she's instantly out of here. She's kicked out.
And I love that clearly she does not know who Vivian is, but Vivian knows who she is and completely destroys her. Gets her kicked out of the class.
Yeah, I cannot believe this happened. But also, at the same time, I feel like I would have to do that too if I was Vivian, you know?
I guess. I mean, the prize is not great, so I don't know what they're fighting for.
But if Holland Taylor asks you, should I kick out Elle Woods, you do what you think Holland Taylor wants you to do.
That's true. That's true.
What is the saying from Game of Thrones?
You win or you die.
No. Whoever passes judgment shall be the one to swing the sword.
Oh, yes.
Well, I guess in that context, Holland would have kicked her out. I don't know. It feels relevant.
Okay. Anyway, she gets kicked out of class for not being prepared. And she huffily sits on the benches outside, and she meets Emmett, although we don't know it's Emmett for like another 30 minutes.
Yeah, Emmett's a cool guy. I like him. You know, he's kind of, you know, still that preppy kind of look, but he's cool. He's like, yeah, I gotta do this to pass these classes. So,
yeah, he's like helping her out, realizes she is out of place. Emmett, played by the wonderful Luke Wilson. So I recently listened to a podcast where he was a guest. Did not realize he was Owen Wilson's brother.
Okay, so when I was watching it last night, and I'm sure everyone who loves this movie is like, how do you guys not know this?
I know.
I know it's probably common knowledge, but it was not in my head. But once I started, because I just watched Loki, but we'll try not to get into that, and I saw Luke Wilson, and I was like, he looks a lot like Owen Wilson, so I'm glad you confirmed that for me.
Yes, they are brothers. But it's like, I don't think I've ever seen them in anything. I feel like, I don't know if they've ever done a film together, because I'm like, oh, Owen Wilson, the Zoolander and Night at the Museum guy. Like, that's what I know him from. And then I don't really think about it much past that. But no, they're brothers.
It makes
Which is like,
once
sense. You know that, it's like, clicks real quick.
Yeah, I mean, once you put them together, they almost look like twins to a point.
Yeah, though they're definitely related.
For sure. Of course, Warner and Vivian show up, though, and they just kind of have to put the dagger in Elle's stomach a little bit harder.
She has the Harry Winston diamond, Spencer.
That monster.
The monster. That is a gorgeous ring. And I love how, like, this is clicking in her head, and she sees the ring twinkle, and then she's like, excuse me, I hallucinated. What did you say?
Yeah. I did not hear anything you just said.
So she meets Vivian. She realizes she's really going to have to fight for him back.
Oh, yeah. She goes in a tailspin and ends up at the nail salon.
Where she has the best entrance ever. I was like, ooh, yes, that is a California driver.
Yeah. And she goes up to this nail tech and she's basically like, do you have any openings? I need my nails done, like, immediately. And we are introduced to another one of my favorite humans on this planet.
Yes.
None other than Jennifer Coolidge.
As, what's her name, Paulette?
As Paulette, yes.
She's so good. I love how she's, like, reading a magazine and eating, and then she's like, this person's distressed. Spill all your secrets.
Yes, Paulette is here to be there for you, my queen.
She's here to be your manicurist and your therapist.
Jennifer Coolidge's character, Paulette, wears a lot of denim. In this moment, she's wearing kind of like denim overalls over a floral top.
Yes.
This whole nail salon feels like it's in an entire different state. This does not feel like Massachusetts to me. This feels like California.
You can tell she's kind of like driven out a little bit because it is very like...
Feels very diссociated with
very disassociated. Kind of rural. There we go.
Yeah.
Feels more rural.
It doesn't feel like the Cambridge area to me at all.
No. And so for Jennifer Coolidge, Paulette, they really wanted her to be very down to earth. Like, so that's why she's got the denims, the muted colors. But Sophie also wanted her to look like somebody who, like, really does try to look good, present themselves well. She just doesn't really have that sense of style that Elle does.
Yeah, I mean, you know, she's not really going to fashion shows or studying fashion, you know,
No.
but she has her own personal style that makes her feel good, you know, and I love that. She maybe doesn't have the confidence quite yet, which is part of her story, but I feel like she feels confident in the clothes that she picks for herself, and I love that.
Yes.
Paulette is such a good character.
She's got to get the eye of the UPS man.
Oh, the UPS guy, I love him so much. We'll get there.
Yeah, I forgot about him. Basically, Paulette convinces Elle that she really has to fight for her man back.
Yeah, and Elle's like, do you know what? I'm going to just give it another shot. We're back in class. I feel like Elle's kind of lost a bit of her color, though. I feel like she's pushing through, but she feels defeated because the top she's wearing is sparkly, but it's also like a dark color.
Yeah, so this is where she kind of starts to transition in some of like that East Coast style, which Sophie did try to do. The longer she's there, the more East Coast she looks, but it still has the Elle Wood flair to it.
Totally. I think that's an amazing way to see that. And I love that. I love like the slow transition from this West Coast to East Coast vibe she has going on. But as we see throughout the film, it kind of like fluctuates in and out.
Yeah, exactly. We do see her California side again, her West Coast vibes, as she, you know, just kind of sets up to study outside. And, oh, it just so happens that the pickup football game Warner's in is right there.
Oh my god. She's literally on this lawn chair in this big fuzzy jacket, wearing another one of her pink sequin bikinis and her red glasses. It's so
good. Like, I love the chair, and she has like a little stool for Bruiser, all covered in pink. She has like a little outdoor living room, and all the guys just stop and stare at her.
It's brilliant. It must have took her forever to set up this little setup she has going on.
I know. And like, Warner was just totally unaware until all the other guys just stop and stare.
Yeah, she's just haunting him. She's doing her best to just make herself known at all times in his life.
And the ultimate test she has for this is when she tries to join his study group.
Ugh, cringe. Vivian's kind of a jerk in this moment, but she looks good in purple, though.
Oh, she does. She does. She's got her string of pearls.
Yeah, she's wearing a purple sweater with like a purple and white button-up shirt underneath, and she has her signature pearl necklace over the sweater. She looks good. I'm just obsessed with Selma Blair.
She looks good. And Elle comes very nicely to join the group. She's like, I brought sustenance. She has these gigantic muffins, which I was like, I would have been like, oh yeah, okay, you're in our group. Yeah. You brought muffins? Great.
Please have a seat.
Everyone else wants those muffins. In the group, everybody else wants those muffins. But Vivian's, she's not having it.
Yeah, even Warner's like, have a seat. I do enjoy muffins. So yeah. I feel that.
But Vivian knows she's a threat to her engagement.
Yeah, sends her away. We've already, divided up outlines or whatever law people say.
Sends her away and then is like, oh no, there's no room here. So mean as she's walking away, she's been rejected. Enid, totally dumps on her for no reason.
Oh my gosh, right? For no reason. I was I was caught off guard when she made her comment.
I know. For simply how she perceives her to be.
Yeah.
I love Elle's comeback where she's like, I don't use that word. You probably heard it from the bitch over there.
Totally. It's so unwarranted. I turned around and I was like, Did someone say something? I turned around ready to fight. About to make a ruckus in this study group right now.
I was like, for no reason at all.
Yeah, mind your business.
So she walks away completely dejected.
She's totally pissed. Elle's in her room. I love this scene because everything in her room is pink and furry. Her phone.
Yes.
Her tissue box. Just everything in the background you'll notice is just covered in pink and fur.
Yes. She's got her fuzzy blue cloud robe on.
Aww. And she gets a call from her friends back home, and it looks like Margot is getting ready to get married. People in this movie move fast.
People in this movie do move fast, and she's all excited, but her friends are just so distracted, they don't realize how sad their friend is.
She's like, I'm way in over my head at this moment.
And she, like, needs somebody to complain to, but Margot falls over. So the conversation is cut short. But as that conversation is cut short, she hears what she's been wanting to hear this whole time. That somebody's having a party.
Oh, finally.
She runs out, and it's Vivian having the party.
Vivian's throwing, apparently, some rager. She tells everyone to bring their Merlot, though. So it sounds like a classy party to me, because I've never told people to bring Merlot.
I know. It's a BYOB.
And Elle's like, oh my gosh, I'd love to go. And Vivian's like, okay, well, it's a costume party, so you're not going to like it. And once again, another kind of parallel, I feel like, to Mean Girls in this moment. Because if you remember, Kat, Lindsay Lohan's character, is invited to a costume party, quote unquote. I guess this is just a main thing people do in college or high school.
It's a really good way to make someone look super foolish just immediately.
I love a costume party, so I would be hyped. I think both of you, like both of you, talking to
both of us
love a costume party.
Gosh,
Elizabeth, What is your favorite costume or cosplay you've ever done?
I'll pick the Halloween costumes as a kid that I was the most hyped for. 2 years in a row, dressed up as Lord of the Rings characters.
Oh yeah,
Arwen and Eowyn.
Ayo.
My mom handmade the dresses for me. I still have them. I felt so awesome in those costumes.
I love that. That was so cute. I was Gandalf one year. Very proud of that. But actually the robe ended up not fitting very tight on me. It was a very kind of sensual Gandalf. So I ended up ditching the robe and just going about with the beard and hair and just wearing a hat over it. I'm very proud of my Cusco from Emperor's New Groove. That's one of my favorite costumes.
That's great.
Very proud.
Well, clearly Ella's very proud of her costume as well. She does the most sorority girl thing and goes as a bunny. This was another one of the custom builds.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't expect that. I love that, though.
Yeah, she's got the pink corset with the lace and the fur on the top. The cheap bunny ears. She's basically wearing underwear and pink tights. Has a little bunny tail on the back. She walks into the party. She knows immediately that she's been played. She walks up to Vivian. Vivian spits her drink out.
She literally does a spit take.
Insults Vivian, because at this point, Vivian deserves it.
I love this costume so much. It's just so typical and on a nose of, like, this character. It's, like, what you expect of her, but yet, like you said, she makes it look cute. I don't feel like she's there to be sexy. She's like, oh, this is very cute of me.
Yeah, she's not there to be sexy at all. It is a sexy costume. It's exactly what you would get if you wanted a sexy costume. But she feels adorable and herself, so she's rocking it.
My notes for this scene, all I wrote is, Warner fucking sucks.
He does suck.
I just had to make that known one more time.
He is the worst, and that's the moment she gives up and makes Harvard all about herself.
Yeah, she's like, do you know what? I'm going to make law school my mission, and I'm going to totally dominate all my classes. She has no time to spare. She goes directly to, like, the computer store and in her bunny costume, and she's just sitting there holding her colorful computer.
Yes.
Ready to go.
It's always her. And I love how Emmett walks in and just clears his throat, and she's just like, don't ask. Don't ask me what happened here.
He says, wasn't going to, but I'm like, you were going to.
You wanted to know why she was in a bunny suit in the Mac store.
Yeah, like, we all saw it, like, on the tip of your tongue. We go into a fun montage, and I love this montage because in almost every other scene, Bruiser is in the spa chair, getting the treatment. Bruiser's watching TV. Bruiser's just having the time of his life right now.
He's having the time of his life, and she is studying her ass off. She's like, I'm going to be a lawyer. You just watch me. You think I'm not good enough for this? Yes, I am.
And she puts her new lawyer skills to the test.
She does.
When she goes with Paulette to go to her ex-husband's house. I don't know if they're divorced yet.
Her ex-boyfriend's.
Ex-boyfriend's house to get her dog back. Her boyfriend's name is Dewey, which, you know, already a problem
Dummy.
there. Elle is wearing this wonderful purple fur with like an orange turtleneck.
That.
Very cute. It's like very cute. It's, you know, during a colder climate. She's wearing her knit beanie.
And she's wearing her I'm pretending to be a lawyer glasses.
Yes, I'm pretending to be a lawyer glasses. That's a good way to put it. And she just looks so cute. But this takes us to one of my favorite scenes of all time. Just one of the most quotable lines. When Elle basically convinces Dewey, like, Paulette has rights over, you know, separation rights, and she deserves the dog. And Paulette has to put it in her own words. And I think we should do our best Jennifer Coolidge impersonation because I'm just obsessed with Jennifer Coolidge. It's okay. I'll go first. She says, I'm taking it. She says, I'm taking the dog, dumbass.
That's pretty good.
Your turn. Oh, I've been waiting for this all day. I have to hear your Jennifer Coolidge.
Why do you make me do this?
It's so fun.
I'm taking the dog, dumbass.
I feel like that was good too. Jennifer Coolidge
Jennifer Coolidge is one of a kind. I don't know if anybody can replicate that.
I imagine Jennifer Coolidge somewhere right now listening to our podcast and just shaking her head, but
yeah, probably. She probably turned it off.
Just know, Queen, that we are big fans and we love you.
We do love you.
Oh God.
But they get the dog back and they watch the snowflakes fall as winter descends upon Harvard.
Yeah, it's Christmas at the Salon. Paulette's in a cute little blue snowflake sweater.
Yes.
Back in class, though, Vivian is in a wonderful knit hat, wearing lots of tans, and Elle's killing it in class. She's making waves. So much so, her professor, Professor Callahan, says maybe you should apply for an internship.
Yeah.
Elle says, I got you covered. Here's my resume. It is pink. And it's scented.
I loved that. He is so confused. She just walks out. He's just staring and sniffing this piece of paper. Emmett walks in. He's like, oh, what's going on? He's like, well, like, what's in your hand? He's like, her resume. He's like, what do you mean her resume? Like, smell it. He's like, what? Do you think this girl just woke up one day and thought, I'm going to be a lawyer? And I love Emmett's like, yeah, but she has potential.
You know what? And if someone wants to wake up and say, I want to go to law school one day, they should. You know?
They should.
Make your dreams come true, people.
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with waking up one day and wanting to go to law school or anywhere else in life. You make it happen.
And in this next scene, we find out Callahan, he's got a big case on his hand, so he needs first-year interns.
He does, and he picks a couple students to be with him on this internship. And, of course, he picks Warner, he picks Vivian, and he picks Elle. And I'm stoked.
Warner can't believe she got it. Vivian can't believe she got it. And this is the greatest. When she goes up and she's like, oh, remember that time we spent 4 hours in the hot tub? And she's like, this is so much better than that. And the look Vivian gives Warner. 4 hours? It's like, oh, you clearly never got 4 hours of nothing.
Yeah, so I had to do a little deep dive into hot tub usage because when I heard 4 hours, I thought, 4 hours, that is crazy. You should never spend 4 hours in a hot tub.
You should never.
Our faithful listeners, do not spend 4 hours in a hot tub.
No.
It is recommended between 15 and 30 minutes in a hot tub. Take breaks. Absolutely do not spend more than an hour in a hot tub at one time. It is bad for you.
Ooh, you know what I did in Idaho? I went to a hot spring.
I hope you did not spend 4 hours in said hot spring.
No, we were there for an hour. We took breaks in and out, but it was nice. Didn't expect it to smell like rotten eggs, but it was nice.
Wow, that's so interesting. But how do you relax in a pool of water that smells like rotten eggs?
You get used to it. I don't smell things very well, so it was pretty easy for me.
Yeah, that's true. My nose actually doesn't work really well, except for like sniffing out Krispy Kreme and In-N-Out.
Yeah, but Elle, she sniffed out that internship and she got it.
Sniffed it out. You're a monster.
Hey, she gave him a scented resume. I would call that sniffing out an internship.
That is the theme of this segment, is sniffing out your goals in life, people.
Sniff them out.
Sniff them out. Before we go to break, I want to point out this knit cardigan that she's wearing again. It's different than the other peacock cardigan. This one it's interesting because it's like a green knit, but it has like a blue hue to it, or maybe it's a blue sweater with a green hint to it. Either way, it's kind of like an iridescent looking cardigan sweater, and I think it's so cool. Her sweaters are very interesting in this movie.
Oh yeah, it looks real good.
They're very modern, I would say.
They're very modern, they're interesting, but it's her just continuing to dress the part.
She's dressing the part. Speaking of dressing the part, the part's about to become real when she moves into this internship. Before we get started with the internship, we're going to take a little break. And when we come back, it's time to put our new studies into practice.
Yes, it is.
Let's take a break. And Elle is ready for her new internship. And right off the bat, she is serving looks immediately.
She is serving looks because she knows she earned that internship. But she's still, unlike Vivian, she is gracious and tells Vivian she looks nice as well.
And she does. I think Vivian does look nice in this black outfit and her, a gray turtleneck. She's always wearing turtlenecks, but it's fine. It looks good on her. But talk to me about Elle's look, though, at this point. Yeah,
so for Elle's look, you'll notice when she's in the internship, she mostly wears, black and white. This first one is very fitted, very, there's a little bit of, Marilyn Monroe influence in this first one, because it's another one of those things that's well, what would Elle do? And it's well, Elle would think, okay, what do I need to do to look like, a serious lawyer, wear black and white, but still has that little, 1940s work girl vibe to it.
It's very cute. I love she's wearing a white polka dot. It almost looks like a bow with a red brooch in the center. It's very cute. This is one of my favorite looks of the movie.
All of her internship outfits are very cute. And going along with that, what would Elle do? Sophie said that they were well, okay, what designers would Elle Woods be looking at for her workwear? So a lot of those pieces are from Salon.
Ooh.
Yeah, so they got a lot of her internship workwear from the Workwear Salon line at the time.
I love that. I definitely see that influence too. It's very sophisticated, but still true to Elle. It's very cute.
Yes.
But also I feel like she's finally got the part of the lawyer law student.
Yes.
She understands the assignment now, and she's still doing a good job being herself, but also playing this part that she's trying to play.
She was basically going to win him back and then drop out. Mm-hmm. But now she's here for herself. She's not here for Warner anymore. So she's wearing what she really believes is what will look best for her in this position.
Yeah, she's dressing for the job you want, in her own way. We also see the character Brooke. She's played by Ali Larter. And this orange jumpsuit that she's in, prison jumpsuit, I know no one looks good in a prison jumpsuit, but I actually feel like Brooke kind of pulls it off.
She manages to pull it off. I think they probably did tailor that in a little bit.
A little bit.
A little bit. Because she's supposed to have, one of those, a famous workout video line, which I'm oh my gosh, the workout video. Is there anything more 2000s?
Yeah, right.
Than a set of workout videos?
But yeah, it looks nice on her. This takes us back to the nail salon, though. Mm-hmm. And it brings us to a fun moment where the UPS guy comes in, and Paulette just kind of really fumbles her chance with the UPS guy.
Yes. And he's clearly into Paulette, but they're both very awkward.
I love Paulette's costume at this part. It is so good. She's wearing denim once again. She's wearing a denim vest over this tiger shirt which is ridiculously brilliant.
Yes.
And embroidered on this denim vest is like starfish and seahorses on it. She's mixing like a tiger with starfish and seahorses. It's very like Zootopia.
Denim skirt, ponytail on top of the head.
That's just brilliant. I just love everything about this look.
It's so brilliant. She fumbles her chance to flirt, though, and Elle is like, okay, let me teach you a little something.
Let me teach you something called the bend and snap. She's wearing her, like, this great, she has like a pink tank top, but then a very sheer short sleeve embroidered with flowers top that is so of the 2000s. It's got like a long like bow on the front. And she teaches everyone in the salon the bend and snap. The bend and snap. Elizabeth, you look like someone who's mastered the bend and snap.
You know I've mastered the bend and snap.
But I was taken aback by the scene a little bit. Not because I love the bend and snap scene. It's a great scene. But I was like, where is the salon? Look at what everyone is wearing. It's not Massachusetts. I don't know where it's at. It feels like it's like the Midwest or something.
So northeast, once you start getting like out of the cities, it becomes very rural very quickly.
It really changed quickly because this salon, just everyone's wearing just colorful jumpsuits and it's crazy.
Yeah, most of those communities you would think like, oh wait, am I in the South?
Yeah.
But you're not. You're just in a rural part of Massachusetts.
Well, not to say I don't love the costumes. I think Sophie De Rakoff, the costume designer, did a brilliant job costuming this scene. I just don't understand where this part of Massachusetts is, but it's wonderful. Like, this is a part I want to live in, is at this nail salon with all these cool people. I love it.
It's great, and I love the end of it when the hairdresser comes in. He's just like, the bend and snap works every time. And so I was watching this with my father this morning. He cracked up at the end of that line. It was so good.
It's a good little note. It's just so funny. I forgot how funny this movie was. It's been a long time, and it's pretty hilarious. It stands the test of time.
It's hilarious. Especially hilarious when Elle decides to go get the alibi they need.
She goes back to prison to see Brooke, and we go into this ridiculous bit where Elle's trying to get the alibi from Brooke, and, I just don't even want to talk about it. It's just so silly.
Oh, gosh. So she refuses to give the alibi because she's like, it'll ruin my reputation. It's like, well, what could ruin your reputation more than people believing you murdered your husband? However, when you think about it, for someone who built their fame and fortune off workout videos, getting liposuction on your ass would probably ruin your reputation.
Yeah. I love how she, like, whispers it into the phone. She's like, liposuction. And Elle's like,
what?
Liposuction.
Huh?
Liposuction!
She's, like, slowly freaking out. But Elle promises to keep her secret, much to the annoyance of all her coworkers.
She keeps a secret. We did skip a little part, which I just have to just real quickly talk about this outfit that Vivian's wearing back in her, her intern group. She's wearing this really sophisticated look with a white collar again, her pearl necklace, and a black headband. This is one of my favorite looks on Vivian. It's really cute. So sophisticated.
Vivian at the internship looks great. Also at the internship is when she starts to realize, like, Warner, not a good guy.
He's not a good guy, and he's not actually very bright. I mean, he's okay.
No, because he's trying to convince Elle, like, just tell us the alibi. Like, he's like, look out for yourself. It doesn't matter that you gave somebody your word. And Vivian gives him a look like, excuse me?
Yeah.
Of course it matters if you give somebody your word.
She just witnessed, like, a kind of a poor quality on his part, and she's definitely turned off by that.
Mm-hmm. Professor Callahan, he's pissed, and he's like, you won't give us the alibi. The ex-wife of the man that was murdered will not come in for her interview. She's at some spa. And this is another uncalled for insult. One of the associates like, oh, isn't that your mothership, a spa? And it's like, yeah, shut up. Everybody would enjoy a spa if they went.
Yeah, just stop. You don't have to be like, you don't have to come from a bougie place in California to enjoy a spa. We all like spas.
No. So Callahan, he sends Elle, but he's like, well, since you won't tell us the alibi, you can't go by yourself. So he sends Emmett with her.
Good choice.
Good choice. So they go visit the ex-wife in the spa.
Her name is Miss Wyndham Vandermark, and I don't understand what's happening here. She is wrapped in like a gold cocoon with cucumbers on her eyes, and I feel like we're watching Cruella all over again.
I know, and I love Elle just takes off the cucumbers from her face and is like, we gotta talk to you, and she's like, ugh, okay.
I need someone who's watching this to tell me what spa treatment she is undergoing right now. I just see lots of lights, and what's happening? It's
probably some sort of like skin treatment. No, like, like a seaweed wrap? It's just like a version of that.
Apparently I don't go to a spa too often. It's been a long time since I've been to a spa.
I mean, I've never gotten that done at a spa. I don't make that kind of money. But it is a thing. But so she's not helpful in the slightest. But, Elle and Emmett, they get a little alone time. They get to talk a little bit. One thing I love about this, because it's like once she's done with Warner, there's like no more love story. It's cute that, like something like her and Emmett clearly like and respect each other, but they don't like just like, oh, here's your new love interest.
Totally. It's not in your face. Like we just all know that they like have affinity for each other. They like each other. Their relationship's definitely going to work out in the end. So it's just like not a part of the story at this time. It's an unsaid thing. They drive back. I love this moment of them driving back together. And we see Elle walking back in this really nice black coat. I can't tell if it's suede or like a short fur. It's probably fur.
Yeah.
And it's really cute. I love it on her.
And as she exits the car, he's like, oh, would I look good as a blonde? And she's like, you couldn't pull it off. But then I'm like, oh my gosh, is that like a reference to his brother? Because his brother's blonde.
Oh my god, I didn't even think of it like that. Totally.
But she leaves, and then she comes to the rescue of her classmate. The only classmate up to this point that's been nice to her, I will say.
Oh yeah, poor dorky David is like asking a girl out. Or two girls out. I don't know what's going on here.
He's asking Vivian's friend out, but she just has like another friend there with her.
Yeah, and epic fails. But
epic fails.
Elle
She's
comes.
mean to him for no reason.
Yeah, she said, like, why would a girl like me ever date a guy like you? Super rude. Everyone in this town is rude.
So rude.
And Elle comes and saves the day, and she basically acts like they were dating. And it makes him look more dateable. So I feel like the two girls definitely like have a change of heart. But I wonder how long that change of heart lasted. We don't really know.
I know.
But
I'm like, I would not want to date somebody who 2 seconds ago was saying I was not good enough for them.
Yeah, exactly. Like I think that time's passed. But it's a fun scene. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So she's helping out her fellow man. And then she's just chilling in her room.
Yes, wonderful Vivian, even though we don't really like Vivian up until this point. But Vivian kind of comes in like a new kind of persona. She's actually like, I'm starting to respect Elle more. I see how talented she is, how smart she actually is, how she's really just kind of let Warner stories go at this point. And she comes in asking for the deposition, and they have like a nice little sweet moment for a little bit.
Yeah, she's very vulnerable with her, very nice. And it's like, this is where you start to like Vivian.
Vivian is wearing another blue top with the pearl necklace over it. And it just looks very sophisticated again. I just love this outfit on her. To me, it's like a very close battle between whose outfits I like more, Elle's and Vivian's. They're two different kind of styles. I
think they're equally as good. Like you said, they're two very different styles.
Two very different styles, but their costuming is just as brilliant for each character. Vivian asked if she could hold Bruiser, and that's when I was really like, yes. I love this relationship.
Because I think by this point, she realizes that, like, basically made Elle out to just be, like, a bimbo, which she is not. And, like, now she realizes that, like, oh, I've been horribly judgmental of this woman.
Yeah, it's like anyone who's been watching has known since that very first scene where they try to sell her, you know, an old dress, that Elle is not a bimbo. So, like, let's just take that word out of discussion when it comes to Elle.
Yeah.
So then we're back in court, and Brooke is wearing this wonderful newspaper crop jacket, which...
Yes.
And I love it so much, and I love it because it's, like, reminiscent to Brooke's past at this, you know, sorority that Elle ended up going to eventually.
Yeah. So with Brooke, basically, because this is the first scene where you get to see her dress in her own style, but Brooke is basically just supposed to be an older version of Elle.
Oh, for sure.
Like, you know, they have the same exact background. She is also very smart, perceived as dumb. And it's like, well, because she's supposed to be, I think she's supposed to be about, like, 26, 27. Like, in 4 years, when Elle's a little bit older, like, yeah, this is how she would dress.
I love that. I love that storyline. It's like looking at your future self, or almost like her big sister, in a sense, which actually makes sense to me.
Yeah, because this is something that could totally happen to Elle in that circumstance.
Before we leave this courtroom scene, though, there is a character now sitting at the table. The wonderful Chutney is sitting at the witness stand. All I can think about is Velma is sitting at the witness stand.
There's Velma sitting at the witness stand. The wonderful Linda Cardellini is just sitting there.
Linda Cardellini plays, amongst many other characters, but she plays Velma in the Scooby-Doo movies. And I'm obsessed with those movies. I actually just had a moment. I don't know how we haven't put the Scooby-Doo movies on our podcast roster.
We'll get there. Don't worry.
It's happening. We're going to rearrange some things because the
Yeah.
Scooby-Doo movies are it.
We will figure it out. But, yeah, it's funny because, like, Legally Blonde came out, and then the very next year, the first Scooby-Doo came out.
Oh.
So, because I didn't realize she was in that, so I think a lot of people don't realize that is her, because she looks so different, because everyone knows her as Velma.
Yeah. It takes a second. Like, we were talking before the break, Linda Cardellini is actually in some of the Avengers movies, too, because she is the wife to Clint Hawkeye. And, like, I never actually recognized her in it. But then I'm like, oh, it's obviously her.
Yeah, even this film, I had to look her up, because I was like, you're clearly somebody. But, you know, generally, she has very straight hair. She has a little bit of an older-looking face. So you don't think of her, she's played very much as, like, a very, kind of, like, teenagery, she seems like, even though she's, like, a 20-some-odd woman in the story. But she's got the big, permed, curly hair, no glasses, like, kind of minimal makeup. So she looks super different.
To me, I recognized Velma right away. Maybe it's because it's the same time period as Scooby-Doo.
Maybe.
So we take ourselves out of the court scene for a little bit to check in on Paulette at the nail salon, and...
What is Paulette ready to do, Spencer?
Oh, she's ready to put the bend and snap in practice, and...
In action. And she does it perfectly. There's just a little snafu.
Is it perfect, though? I mean, she did break his nose.
She lands it perfectly. However... The UPS man, being the wonderful individual he is, also bends down to pick up the pen she intentionally dropped. And her head bangs him so hard in the face that she breaks his nose.
Yeah, that's so funny because the UPS guy is such a classy guy. He bends down to grab the pen. We did not put this into the equation when we were talking about the bend and snap.
No.
What happens if he's a good guy and he gets the pen for you?
Like, he is such a classy guy. He's been, like, putting it out there, but waiting for her to make the first move so that, like, he knows it's mutual. And then she drops her pen, and he's like, oh, I got it. She breaks his nose.
Her landing, though, of the snap was perfect, though.
It was perfect. She did it perfectly.
All right, you convinced me. She did it perfectly. We just didn't take into account that he's also a classy guy.
Yes, and... I love this transition from her perfect snap to Elle just going, "You broke his nose?" Outside the courtroom.
Yeah, so Elle's in the hallways of this courtroom. She's getting ready to go back in. And we see Enrique, who is the pool boy.
He's been on the stand saying him and Brooke have been having an affair.
Wearing a very sparkly shirt, I will say. So
picture of the Virgin Mary on the back.
Yeah, and in my head I was like, that is a very interesting choice for this character, the pool boy.
Yeah.
And it plays into his character, I think, when Elle realizes that he's actually gay because he commented on her shoes, right?
Yeah, because he cut her in the water fountain line. So she was tapping her shoes away, and he's like, "Don't tap your last season shoes at me." And I forget what brand they were, but he knew the designer, and she's like, "Oh, he's gay because straight guys don't know designers," which I'm like, That's
not true.
That's not true, but it works.
Yeah, I mean, I get what she's going at.
Yeah.
Brooke is wearing like an interesting halter top with a choker on it. Very kind of sensual, and I love it. She's just really like, she might be going to prison soon. She's wearing all her favorite outfits to these courtroom scenes.
She is. She is living it up in the courtroom. And Elle tells her revelation to her professor and to Emmett. And the professor's just like, "I can't with you, like, it doesn't matter." But Emmett knows why it matters.
Yeah, Emmett tries it out in the courtroom, and it actually works out. I feel like they catch Enrique in a lie a little bit there.
Oh, they definitely catch Enrique in a lie, as his boyfriend storms out of the courtroom for denying that he is his boyfriend.
Yes, Chuck gets up and yells something and walks out, and I was just like, what is happening here?
I love how Chuck, he was okay with this up to the point where, "Oh, you're lying that you had an affair? That's fine. You're gonna deny me on the stand? I can't believe you."
Yeah. Why is Chuck even in the courtroom? If their plan were to work out, why is he just even here? It was just a risky choice of you, Chuck.
Yeah, it really is.
So now we go back to a scene which we don't like this scene.
We don't like this scene.
Elle meets with Professor Callahan, and he's fucking gross.
He's gross. So Vivian's like, "Oh, hey, like, he wants to see you." She's being so nice to her. I was like, "Oh, okay." Goes into the office. He's like, "Let's discuss your future." And then feels her up. Disgusting. Vivian sees it and makes the assumption that Elle is about to sleep with their professor. But no, she doesn't. Because she is a lady who knows what she is worth, and that nothing is worse than doing what a creepy man wants you to get a job. And she quits.
Yeah, on the spot, she's done. I'm out. Ugh, that's just so gross.
Yeah, she sees Emmett on the way down. She's like, "I'm out of here." And he's like, "What?" She's like, "He felt me up. I'm done." Poor Emmett doesn't know what to do.
Yeah, I was confused. I didn't see it coming because, but once it happened, it added up to me. The reason why she's had all these opportunities almost kind of given to him, even though I feel like everything she's had so far is rightfully earned because she is one of the best law students. But it's almost all given to her because he's a fucking creep. And, so gross. So gross.
Vivian hates her again. But then the next day, Emmett sets her straight when they have to break it to Brooke that Elle is no longer part of her legal defense.
Yeah, and Brooke is immediately annoyed. She hates Callahan already. But they come up with a plan. But this is not before we go back to the nail salon. And Elle is having a breakdown with Paulette, talking about how disgusting Professor Callahan is.
She's packed her car, ready to go back to California.
But then we are saved by the fairy godmother herself.
Yes!
Holland Taylor turns around, and she's like, "You're not going to let this one ruin your life, and if you are, you're not the girl I thought you were."
Yes, that is her salon where she gets her hair done. And she's really, in her classes, she's grown to respect Elle because Elle is putting the work in.
She sees the brilliant student that Elle is. And I think instantly Holland Taylor's character is like, oh, we're not going to let this happen. This is what you're going to do. You're going to go back in there and you're going to kick Professor Callahan's ass and you're going to win this trial.
Uh-huh.
It's all unsaid.
It's all unsaid. But that is exactly what Elle is going to do. So she walks into the courtroom as Brooke is firing Callahan. And according to some Massachusetts law, which I don't know if it's real or if they made it up for the film.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. But so long as she has a licensed lawyer supervising her, she can act as Brooke's attorney.
She can. And her outfit is just so brilliant.
It's so good. So this is another one of those custom builds. And it's the first time you see her acting as a lawyer in pink.
Yeah.
It's the first time.
Elle has really come into her own. She has blended both of her worlds together. That entire lawyer world and Elle's world has become one. Is like she is the super Elle. Just everything has built up to this moment, and she is in her power color, which is pink.
Yes. Sophie said that in this moment, she needed to be the most herself. And that is a pink dress with a sparkly belt.
Oh, this is it. I mean, it's like Cruella and her like black and white wig. It is Captain America with his shield. It is Halston in his black turtleneck. This is Elle's moment. She is Elle Woods, and she's about to kick all your asses.
Yep. Callahan's ready to watch her fail. The district attorney is ready to watch her fail. Emmett is there to back her up. And Spencer, who else is there to back her up?
Everyone. I love it. Paulette is in this purple look, which I absolutely love. Her best friends show up, and it's such a mess, but I love it. Her two friends show up, Margot and Serena. And Margot's look is brilliant. This red vinyl look, absolutely brilliant. Serena's also wearing purple, and they're like, oh my gosh, we're here for your case. And she looks at the jury, and she says, vote for Elle.
I love, they're like, oh, so adorable. There's a judge and a jury and everything. It's like, well, yeah, of course there is.
So brilliant. Also, Brooke is wearing this brilliant black suit, and she has this really gold necklace hanging from her neck. She looks really good also. Just everyone just brought their A game for this day. Like, they knew that Elle was going to wrap this up with a bow. They don't know how. They just are very confident it's going to happen.
Very confident. Elle, however, is not so confident in herself at first. Kind of rambles on until she asks Chutney, okay, so, like, what did you do earlier in the day before you were in the shower and came down to see your father dead? Spencer, what did Chutney do the day her father died?
She got a perm.
And what is the cardinal rule of getting a perm?
Now, I've never gotten a perm, but even I know you're not supposed to take a shower directly after getting a perm. That doesn't make sense.
Nope, and Elle explains why it doesn't make sense. And in her explanation, gets Chutney to confess to the murder of her father. She is the murderer, Spencer!
Yes. Elle literally goes into, like, the science of perms and uses all this, like, verbiage and keywords that I am not familiar with. But everyone's just like, okay, cool. And
you can see Chutney slowly breaking down because she realizes, like, this is the one person who knew enough to figure out that I murdered my father.
Yeah. Even her lawyers look surprised. Everyone's shocked. And I just love it. It's so brilliant. Everyone goes wild. The judge just dismisses the case right away, which I think, is probably fictional. And she has the witness arrested right away also. I don't know if you could do that, but...
I think they can probably dismiss the case. I don't know if they can arrest her right away, but they also just have, like, a probably taped confession from Chutney.
I mean, it's coming. I just don't know if they could take him away. I have never been selected for a jury. Have you ever been in jury duty?
I've never had jury duty, thankfully.
I've been in jury duty once, and I just want to be selected so bad. But my time has not come. But one day, I just want to live like my courtroom television drama fantasy and be on a jury. Just one day.
One day, you will be the jury of somebody's peers.
Yeah, if you're a jury selector out there, just give me a chance. This is my time to shine.
I think having a podcast just disqualified us.
Oh, no. We're going to play this podcast at the jury selection. But then we get back into it. And this is one of my favorite scenes because Warner, of course, runs around a corner and he's like, Elle, you're beautiful. You're brilliant. I love you so much. Like,
I've always loved you. You've always been the person I wanted to be with.
Let's make this work. And Elle's basically just like, piss off, bro. No.
Yeah. No, she's like, I don't need you anymore. I got this on my own. Like, I can be my own lawyer. And she throws it right back in his face. If I want to make partner at a law firm by 30, I can't have somebody holding me down.
Yeah, I don't need a silly, ridiculous man like you.
Yeah.
It's perfect. It's like
perfect.
Everything we need to wrap up this movie.
Yes. And it ends with their graduation, where Elle is the class-voted speaker.
Oh, yeah, it's so wonderful. And the speech that Elle gives, it's actually quite inspirational. I mean, yeah. I heard it twice. I can't recite it back for you. But in a moment, I was like, you know, these are some real words of encouragement. Yeah.
And we find out her and Vivian are best friends. They're both graduating with honors. Paulette and the UPS guy are together and they're having a baby.
Oh.
Warner is just, without a woman on his arm, he is nothing. He did not graduate with honors. He does not have a girlfriend or any job offers right out of law school.
Yeah, he really floundered on this one.
Yeah. He messed up.
We will not end without mentioning one of the greatest costumes of this entire film. It is Bruiser in a little graduation cap.
That was adorable. That was so adorable. He just pops up for a second in that graduation cap. Ugh. I love how everybody's there, because Emmett's there too. He quit Callahan's firm. He started his own. Him and Elle are about to get engaged.
It's wonderful.
So perfect. So perfect.
It's such a great way to end it.
It is. Did you see her parents too?
No, I think I missed them actually.
Her parents are there for a hot second, and like, her dad, he had like a martini with olives in the first other scene, and then he's there with his like martini.
Oh, that's so funny because when I watched it with our good friend Avisha, and she said, "Ooh, look at the martini," and I must have been typing notes on the podcast both times, but I missed that. Oh, I need to go back and watch it again.
Yeah, it ends so perfectly.
It's a great way to end a movie, and with that is the first Legally Blonde movie. With costumes by Sophie De Rakoff.
Yes. Wonderful, wonderful film. Iconic film for both its story and its costumes.
It was so good. I'm so glad we watched this. You know, it's such a classic film that's so beloved. And I understand it why. I mean, it holds the test of time. I had a good time watching this. And, 20 years later, and these costumes are still brilliant. I think they're defining of the early 2000s.
Oh yeah, you watch this and it's like each era of fashion, they have pieces that are very of the time but also very timeless, and that's what this film is filled with, the timeless classics of early 2000s fashion.
She is such a brilliant female lead. Reese Witherspoon is. I love Elle Woods. Once again, we love Selma Blair and Jennifer Coolidge. But speaking of leading female leads, Elizabeth, what is our next film that we're going to be watching?
I'm so excited for this. I actually just saw it opening day. Spencer, we are going to watch the long, long, long awaited for and overdue Black Widow movie.
Oh, yeah. I cannot wait.
I'm so excited.
My Marvel nerd side of me is just like jumping with joy. I can't wait to see it, and I can't wait to talk about it.
It is a near perfect film.
Oh, well, that's good to hear. If Elizabeth thinks a movie is near perfect, then it actually is near perfect, because she does not give that judgment on just anything.
I don't. You know I don't.
No.
I have strong opinions.
Well, thank you all so much for listening, and I cannot wait for next week to see Black Widow.
Thank you all for joining us. Please pass this on to a friend who you think would like it. Also, if you feel so inclined, leave us a 5-star text review. That is very helpful to get us in front of some more people.
Yeah, you could listen to our podcast now on any platform. When we say wherever you like to listen. We're talking Spotify. We're talking Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Amazon. The list goes on and on.
Some other ones, we don't even know what they are.
No, I don't. And every once in a while have to check in to see if it actually exists, and they do. iHeartRadio is another one. So just listen to us wherever you like. Thank you so much for listening in.
Thank you so much. We can't wait to have a little chat with you guys again. Have a fantastic week. The Art of Costume Blogcast is hosted by Elizabeth Joy Glass and Spencer Williams.
Produced by Elizabeth Joy Glass with associate producer Spencer Williams.
Our sound design and engineering is done by Daniel White.
Follow us on Instagram at The Art of Costume Pod.
Or visit theartofcostumeblogcast.com for all blogcast updates.
For more costume reviews, deep dives, and interviews, visit theartofcostume.com.
A blog dedicated to highlighting the best in costume design.